Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Lesson number 31. Amazing milestone. Yet again, thank you for all of our beautiful co creators who have decided to join us, whether it's subconsciously, consciously, superconsciously, or just a digital presence, or a combination of all four at the same time. However, you wish to co create with us, we are supremely grateful and appreciative for your contribution. It is invaluable. Thank you for being here. Quick recap of lesson number 30. It was the gamers versus players. We were talking about essentially that as you'll be building modules, you and your team will essentially develop proclivity for one of the two modalities of experiences of gaming. And it's the gaming across the, no matter what mini game within the game of life you are playing, what module do you prefer? You have two modalities of experience. That's with regards to the subconscious endorphin hits. Your brain is rewarding you for finishing tasks. That's called endorphin hits, and that's essentially what most of our brothers and sisters refer to as pleasure. That your subconsciousness slash your brain rewards you with pleasure when you complete the tasks or you overcome the challenges, when you add meaning and value to your algorithm of the game of life. And throughout the years, the beautiful human being that is gracing us with its subconscious, conscious, superconscious digital presence, you are essentially the formative construct, the composite of your experiences, and those experiences have predetermined whether you have a tendency of being more of a gamer or more of a player, depending what was your character arc up until this very moment in time. And it's perfectly fine, whomever you are. We need you, we love you, we need to co-create super modules with you, we need to attract hundreds of thousands or millions or billions of people that will co-create with you to take you to your vision, realize your dream, as you'll be helping them to realize their dream. So we were talking about the gamers essentially are the ones who prefer, they place emphasis on winning. Players place emphasis on building, that they enjoy, these guys enjoy score points, they enjoy challenge, they enjoy competition. They want, when you must clearly define the rules of engagement. Many of them love to choose to believe, to frame themselves that they are the best, whatever the game is, whether it's a game of politics or whether it's the game of multinational corporations. Clearly defined score points like profit margins, that's gamers. On the other side, you have the players, you have the people who have the tendency of building, which is just another name for co-creation. These people will have slightly more tendency towards show business aspect. They are the artists, they are the co-creators, they are the visionaries, they are those people that build something. And when you're building something, especially if it's a massive module, massive project, if it's a building, if it's a masterpiece, it takes months or years or decades. You cannot be instant gratification. There is no clearly defined score points. You must dedicate yourself, your daily workflow, your focus, your highest excitement towards adding a little bit, just the tiny stepping stones, just the tiny building blocks of your masterpiece. And usually you have to co-create with large amounts of people. The greatest masterpieces, the Egyptian pyramids, the masterpieces in Rome or in India, all around the planet, those buildings, the sculpture, the paintings, all of it was usually the results of co-creation between many beautiful people. Even if it was a singular artist, that artist has had an icon, that artist has had the benefactor, the mecenates, the people who were essentially paying for their living as they were creating those masterpieces. Usually it is the co-creation. So these are the players, these are the people who do enjoy. They need the creative direction, they need the creative vision, they need compassion when they misalign, because having the large groups of people, you always have to have amazing amount of passions and patience, passion, and compassion. And you need to, whenever they stray slightly, hey, it's okay, this is the process. Especially if you do those masterpieces, the large co-creative project like the movie series and directing the movies, that it's massive teams, lots of personalities, especially if there's the high profile, aka the large Hollywood icons. They have amazing personalities, but some of them are quite difficult to work with. So you need to co-create, you need to collaborate, you need to keep everyone in line. The trust index, you need to keep everyone in cohesion. It's much more challenging sometimes, depending what you're building, because as you know, it's always both. Yes, the gamers are playing with the modules which are already built, but before it was built, I guarantee you there were players who were building those modules for them. So it's not overly simplistic that the players are building modules and the gamers are playing. No, it's always both. As always, it's always both. It is business, aka it's a transfer of information and reception of information, and it's always energy transfer, aka sending and receiving energy. And of course, the greatest energy is the energy of joy, of passion, of excitement. And that energy they get that energy as they build, they get that energy as they win. So your task, as you did with show business and with business and show business, you want to be both. You want to be education and entertainment at the same time, and that's where your modules have to be catering to all the different proclivities, those different tendencies, those different modalities of experiencing the game of life. You need to be for the gamers and you need to be for the players, especially if you want to scale your modules to the large scale, aka 100,000 subscribers plus, or clients, or whoever however you frame your affiliates, or even bigger than that. If you want to build those super modules, when you'll be merging different mods together, when you create something so great that the co-creators from literally different continents will come like, guys, what you're doing here is amazing, yeah, we want to be a part of that. How do we marry those two modules? That's how super modules are created, that you are merging different modules together, just like you have the merger of corporations. That's two super modules merging into one. All those things are possible within the game of life. You can be a part of that. Absolutely, it is within your character arc, if you choose to believe it is, if you choose to have the right people, right tools, right resources, if you never give up, never surrender, if you choose love, gratitude, and appreciation, absolutely it's in your cards. At some stage, the greatest gamers, whether they are gamers or players of the game of life, doesn't matter. They enjoy the play so much that it doesn't really matter how much score, because when you have the great modules that reward you with profit margins, then you will have the passive income streams and the money will be flowing into your account on a daily basis. The same thing with the modules that you are building, that you are co-creating. Oh my God, we have 100,000 subscribers. Oh my God, we have 200,000 subscribers. Oh my God, we've hit our first million. These modules will start living their own life, and both the gamers can get the endorphin hits, they can get their excitement, and both the players can get their excitement, their endorphin hits. These are just excuses to get to the happiness spectrum. The greatest game masters of the game of life, they will tell you that no, you decide when you get endorphin hits, you choose to decide what's your highest excitement, as long as you frame it as such. Lesson number 9. And then if you choose to believe it is the case, lesson number 5, don't believe any of it, is just BS, it's just a belief system. But that's essentially it. We're moving serendipitously to the lesson 31, which is MDA, module development arc, which is also module development axis, because we were using the mathematical model of, because we were saying that just like you are business and show business at the same time, you have to be educating and you have to be entertaining at the same time. So that was your one axis, but we need to differentiate, because we were using the analogy of the axis from the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 3.5, and it's not accurate, unfortunately, but we were doing it on purpose because the principle is sound, but there's a differentiation between quantification. So when you have the axis of good versus evil, we're going to call them that, then it means that let's call it 1 to 10, right? So if you have 1, that means that you are super villain. If you are 10, that means that you are super good, the superhero. And then 5 is the 0 point. 5 is that the best of the worst. So that is a scale, that is a spectrum. Like what happens within the business and show business, they are separate spectrums. So you have one which is the educational value, the other one which is the artistic value, And both of them are not mutually exclusive. With the love versus fear or good versus evil, they are mutually exclusive. You cannot be love and fear at the same time because it's a spectrum. You go just like that's what representation of the happiness index is. It's a spectrum. The first five, once you hit five, that's the 0 point. That's the highest of the low. That's the peace. That's the serenity. That's the modality that so few of our brothers and sisters are still operating. They want peace, but they don't know how to get there quite yet. So that's 5 out of 10. That's the highest of the low. As soon as you hit 5.0001, you're already in a positive spectrum. You're already in a love-based consciousness, albeit very low on the spectrum. That's one of the lowest on the positive spectrum. So they are mutually exclusive. It's one spectrum. In here you have two spectrums. You have one spectrum is 1 to 10, how business oriented you are, aka how much value does it provide to the entire module, which is, the score point is the dollars and cents, but at the same time, the business module, when you'll be measuring it, you'll be internally measuring it with the dollars and cents. We're going to get that in a second. But when we talk about the business versus show business, we talk about the scaling that is providing, the estimation that is provided by your affiliates, not only the closest affiliates, but the further away affiliates, with those co-creators within the module called the Game of Life, with those mini mods that you are co-creating, your corporations, your organizations, your institutions, your charities. So you have 1 to 10 scale, and you will be gauging you'll be polling the market. You'll be essentially asking the affiliates, how do you feel? Are we entertaining compared to all the other content you are consuming? And then you ask them for a number. And you can ask for more. You can ask for the specifics, like what have you learned, what was the knowledge, what was the specific skill set, which problems have you solved, because that's amazing frame of reference. Then you give it to others. Remember, it's an open source. You share it freely with everyone. This is what so many of our brothers and sisters haven't allowed themselves to explore quite yet. We've left the mercantilist society long time ago. It's a digital age. In a digital age, the greatest currency is information. The greatest currency is knowledge, and the practical application of the knowledge called skill set. If you show the skill set, if you show that algorithm that, hey, this is what I did, this is what I learned from these guys, this is how I solved my problems, this is the transferable skill. This is the copy and paste moment when our co-creators, our fellow gamers and players of the Game of Life, they come in, they copy and paste the algorithm, and they overcome that challenge. Oh, so this is how you can edit videos using AI. Oh, so I can actually ask AI to profile the market for me. Oh, yeah, I can actually use AI to identify the greatest opportunities within emerging markets to place my bets on the stock exchange. Oh, I can do those things. That's information, and then application of that information is skill set. Remember, there's no I in the teamwork, and there's no mine in the open source. Open source is for all. That's why our modules, we were inviting you, do it open source / sandbox experience, open sandbox. So you're asking your affiliates, how educational did you find it, and how entertaining did you find it? And you ask them you can have your own rating, you can have happy points, you have credit score, you can do whatever you please. But for the simplicity's sake, we're going to say 1 to 10 scale, the 10-star rating, 10-star rating. So you want to be 6 out of 10. That's the score point that you're aiming for. And the same thing on this side. So that's show business. How entertaining? Did we make you laugh? Did we make you curious? Did we make you look at yourself from different perspective? Did we provoke you gently? Did we bemuse you? What was the emotional spectrum, and is it something that you cannot get from anyone else? What were the specific emotions that our content has evolved within you? That's value. That's tremendous. The emotional value is the greatest value you can give to the people. You're giving them information, and you're giving them energy, emotional energy, ideally closest to the unconditional love. But they are the ones who judge it. They are the ones who give you honest feedback. If you have the high trust index, if they have the high integrity, and you have high integrity, they will give you an honest response. You don't want it sugarcoating. You want to know they exactly feel. Remember, it's co-creation. This module doesn't belong to you, it doesn't belong to your team. This module is an own living organism. The module is just a misnomer for community. You don't tell community how it grows, it grows by itself. That's the beauty of modules. So you ask them for an honest feedback, and you will essentially be aggregating that information. And just like we were saying in the lesson number 27, funneling your module, you can integrate those mathematical functions though. So every time you have, let's say, chatbot, and we say, how would you rate this experience? Was it entertaining? Was it educational? The chatbots can be getting that data, and that data can be processed by artificial intelligence, and it can be all integrated within your CRMs. That's not the challenging part. It's the need for accumulating that information. Now, the second side of the spectrum is that the gamers versus players. That you have to essentially ask, like, do you feel like you are winning, and what you are winning? And you can profile them first. You can ask them, do you feel you are more of a gamer, or do you feel you are more of a player? Do you come here to play to win, or do you come here to co-create? What do you want to take out from this experience? What makes you happy? What makes you, when you were telling us that this is entertaining, why did you give us 7 out of 10 score? What was the main reason? Is it the fact that you can, when, let's say that you have a platform with AI, and let's say that those who are the most engaging, those who are most co-creative and the most contributive, they are rewarded with extra credit scores that they can use, let's say, for creating additional AI content, AI videos, or whatever it is that they are creating. So they get extra scores as they're being co-created. That's winning. They get something tangible, they get something quantifiable. That's winning. And then let's just say that you have the Hall of Fame, that you show the content. That's, for example, if you would have had the platform, if you have the players, aka the co-creators, and they are creating something really engaging, and then the algorithm is promoting their content, that's playing. Because yes, they are rewarded, sure, but they are rewarded with the opportunity of greater exposure to the market, that their artistry, their craft, their co-creation has been acknowledged by the algorithm, aka that digital calculator, which decides the probability of whether someone will click on your video or not. So essentially, once again, you ask them, Doug, how do you classify yourself? And also you ask them for the feedback. What would you like to win, and what would you like to create? And then you ask them, once again, you ask them for the number. You ask them that, how do you, especially if you're doing the projects, or especially when you're doing the campaigns, how do you rate us as a player experience compared to other modules? How satisfying this is? What gaming experience is it from 1 to 10 scales? Like 10 being the best, 1 being super poor. And the same thing with the playing experience. How is your building slash co-creative experience with us? How do you rate us? This is the rate of our efficiency. How good we are as gamers, how good we are in giving you the opportunity to max out your happiness index based on your gaming experience. And then the same with the players. How would you rate us as a playing experience, as a co-creative experience? Do we give you a platform to build whatever it is that you wish to build? So once again, you ask them for a feedback. That's what the MDA is, the module development axis is, because now you have essentially you have four spectrums, and they're not mutually exclusive. They're not like love versus fear. I am love versus fear, and you can be in between. And as you move closer to fear, you are excluding love. No, they are 4 independent spectrums, because you will find that there will be those people who say, yeah, no, I'm here for all. I love to win prizes, I love to co-create, I love show business, and I love business. And they tick all those boxes at the same time. And that's how you and your team has to eventually become, that you have to cater to, you need to max out all the possibilities and all the KPIs for everyone. But essentially you have 1 to 10 scale, 1 to 10 scale, 1 to 10 scale, 1 to 10 scale. You have business versus show business, you have players versus, you have gamers versus players, or however you wish to reconfigure it. It's your game of life, but they are complementive rather than contradictive or mutually exclusive. That's one spectrum, that's second spectrum, that's the third spectrum, that's the fourth spectrum. So if you would ask, I mean, don't do it on regular basis, but don't go overboard. And once again, that should be integrated within the lesson 2070. Funneling your module, that should be integrated within your website, within your platforms, within your apps, within your chatbots, whatever it is, whatever digital framework, whatever digital DNA you'll be using for your businesses, for your modules, however you wish to connect with your affiliates and co-creators all over the globe, it's up to you. But that should be inscribed in the digital DNA of your module, that the module should be aggregating those numbers, and then it should be showing you the mathematical model. Now, I don't know if you have had time to appreciate that artwork that we have co-created for you, but that's essentially it, that as you start gathering those numbers, they will create that mathematical model which will show you whereabouts how your module is growing, because that's one of the indicators that you're going to be getting, that what how does our affiliates, how our co-creators, how our fellow players slash gamers, how do they rate us? And once again, this is just subjective, this is just their engagement. They need to feel that they are important, and they need to feel that they co-create the module. And once you, one thing is asking them for the feedback, the second thing is asking about their opinion. So okay, so how would you improve it? How, as a gamer or a player or a business person or a show business person, how would you like to modify the module in order to make it more engaging, more inclusive, more collaborative, more co-creative for largely the greatest amount of people? But essentially, like I said, like we did within the artwork, that if you have AI and just put in those aggregates, and you then do the arithmetic, you translate from the arithmetic to geometric, you translate from numbers to pictures, this will be essentially the picture which eventually will have a chance of becoming the module development arc. Because module development arc is that visual, that image of how you're growing, because at first you might start very slowly, that people are rating you free on all sides, so you have a small tube, but then it will be growing. And of course it always will be oscillating, because as always it's a wave function, because it's energy, everything is energy, but so it will be pulsating. But the idea is that you want to grow and grow, and you want to become that tube. 6 out of 10 is your target. If you can get better than that, amazingly well done. Just like we did in the first and the second lesson, the size and symmetry of your why, and then the 3 indices of your why: your happiness, your trust, your freedom, for you, for your team, for your affiliates, and eventually all the other human beings that will join, for your affiliates and affiliates soon to be. So essentially what you're doing, you're starting to be a scientist of your module. You're starting to see that this thing is alive now, because it's a community of co-creator, where it doesn't matter if you're a CEO or if you are a janitor, everyone is super important, because ideally it's an open source and it's a sandbox. It's just like your brain. No cell is more or less important than the other. This cell is not here, this cell is not here. Doesn't matter if it's a cell in the frontal lobe, aka you and your fellow team, or it's a cell at the back of the brain. It is the same brain. It's just different perspective of the same unity. That's how you should invite yourself to see your module. That is where you will fastest transition from the subconscious and conscious programming, aka looking at yourself from your playable character, and you elevate into the super consciousness mode of operation, when you will actually start to identifying yourself with your modules, with the community, that your community is your digital family. It's not there to replace your physical family, it's to complement the digital. Just like you have the business and show business and players and games complementing, they're not competing, they are complementing. We need both. We need them and them and them. We need them and them and them and them. We need them all. Because the idea is, especially if you want to scale your life to the super modules, especially if you're aiming to monetize your highest excitement and your passion, you want to be a millionaire, multimillionaire, billionaire, or multi-billionaire. That's how it works. That you provide value to millions and then billions of people. That's the difference between those people who really max out the character arc and those who are living in survival modes. It's essentially the function of the size and inclusivity, aka the cohesion, the alignment of your module. When you are co-creating those modules, they don't have to be necessarily in multinational corporations. There'll be more and more models which will be based on co-ops and social cooperatives, that the people will be coming in and saying, hey, we will build a factory, we will build quality clothing that will last for 50 years, not 3 years. We will have it sustainable because we care for the planet, and all the profits will be split between the employees. And that's how we're going to market ourselves. We are great for the planet, we are great for the people. AI is not our enemy, AI is our friend, and we love the planet and we love the people. Please buy from us. We are co-op, by the way. We are not working for corporations, we are not working for the big banks or big governments. We are working for you, we are working for the people. That's beautiful framing. Once again, lesson number 9, the art of reframing. That's you build the social network, you promote yourself, you have the, let's say that you have promotions, you have games, you have events, and you have something for the gamers, you send them free merch, and you have something for the players, that hey, how about you will co-create the mini modules called the social media campaign, when you'll be spreading the information. How would you do it? How would you co-create our media campaign? Please be affiliated with that beautiful dream that we have, that sustainable clothing for the whole planet. That's just an example how you would do it, but essentially that's the essence of it. The best returns you have with the greatest module. Remember when we were saying that money is not the value in and of itself, it's just a symbol of value. The true value is PNP, the prime principle, people and the planet, players and the play field. This is what many of our brothers and sisters have chosen to forget, that greater value you provide to your fellow human beings, faster you skyrocket your character arc, and you'll be like enlightened, the basis of enlightened entrepreneurship, the lesson number 4, the pitch of enlightened entrepreneurship. You'll make love, you'll make friends, and you'll make money. You won't be a good guy, you'll be the best guy, physically, mentally, spiritually, socially, and financially at the same time, because you are creating the modules that create the greatest value for business, for show business, for players, for gamers, or vice versa, however you wish to recalibrate. But MDA, that's the module development axis, because you have the axis which is complementive. Now the MDA module development arc, so the mathematical model, the visual of how the module grows, yes, that's beautiful. And by the way, for those of you who have paid attention to the lesson 25, as you are entering the flow, as you are more loving, more collaborative, more co-creative, you let go of guilt, you let go of judgment, you let go of negativity programming, and you enter love-based consciousness. You're getting closer and closer to 8 out of 10. You enter the flow, your team enters the flow, your affiliates enter the flow, because everyone is having fun and everyone is so aligned that you are being very synchronistic and serendipitous, and those brilliant ideas seem to be coming to you, because metaphysicists will tell you that you are downloading them from your superconsciousness. Religionists will say, oh, it's the inspiration from God. Humanists will say, oh, you're starting to access, because you are meditating, you are oxygenating your brain, you're starting to access that dormant 80% of your brain. You're finally starting to live your life to the fullest. So that's why those multi-billion ideas are coming to you serendipitously, to the entirety of the team. And the physical manifestation of the flow, that's your MDA, that's the axis, that as you will start seeing growing and growing into a tube, that's the flow. That's how you will see the flow manifesting itself, because as you guys are having fun, and as more people are having fun, humans are social creatures. ESE, emotional social example. More and more people, once they start seeing the content, when people are having fun whilst providing the greatest value for everyone involved, more and more people naturally will start coming to you. It's when you have those businesses, when you have the business which has you going outside of the restaurant, and there's that massive queue outside, and people almost subconsciously they're just starting to co-create that line, because hey, That's what humans are. They are social beings. That we we love that sense of freedom. That, hey, you know what? If so many people have made that choice, we don't have to think. We don't have to self-sabotage ourselves. We don't have to victimize ourselves with that constant questioning whether I did the right thing, whether I've gone. But no, if so many people have made that choice, it's just so much easier for you to make that choice. So that's it. Now the module development acts and the module development arc is this, the module development axis plus the other metrics, which is the RFM, which is the used in marketing for both the brick and mortar businesses and the digital businesses and the social media enterprises. Recency, frequency, monetary value. Recency, when was the last time they have showed up? Frequency, how frequent on the weekly or monthly or quarterly basis are they showing up? And the monetary value, what is the total of the sum of the revenue that they have provided, the value of sales and the profit margins from those sales. So RFM is when you are truly, and once again, that should be integrated within your module. That's where you identify, lesson 27, that's where you identify that key 20% within the open source, those people who are greatest opportunity of aligning themselves with the team and being not just emotionally but financially engaged, aka feed the team, pay the bills, invest into scaling the module, because hey, you need new venues, you need more people, you need to pay the people who are not yet aligned with the vision or aligned with the values. You need to pay those beautiful people. That's why the module needs to be paid in order to grow. You feed the module with your love, with your energy, with your time, with your money, because money, once again, it's the symbol of value. More you invest in it, more it will grow, and then everyone will benefit from it. And of course, the ones which are the closest aligned with the core people, the ones who are feeding it the most, are the ones who are the first who receive the benefits. That's nothing wrong with that, far from it. This is the primary principle. You get the very foundational basis of all economy is farming. You reap what you sow. It's if you have the farmers who are more collaborative towards the craft or feeding the planet feeds them in turn, and then they have more monetary value. So recency, frequency, and monetary value, that should be inscribed as well within your module. All of them, we will be creating the apps because all of it should be automated. So you just go in and you just see the mathematical model being produced in real time. Never overwhelm people with too many questions. It should be, ideally, it should be voluntary, the freedom index. RFM, once again, that's something that can be done automated by the artificial intelligence, which is integrated with your CRM or it's integrated with your platform. All of that we'll be talking about in the future. But yes, if you have those two, if you have the module development arc, is the module development axis plus RFM, the recency, frequency, monetary value of whomever it is that are your affiliates, however you monetize your passion, whatever is the option that your module has given to for identifying the Pareto principle, that 20% of recurring clients, those people that keep on coming back on a consistent basis and they spend a lot of money ideally with you, or even not so, like all of it in time. Thank you so much for your co-creation, guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah.